afterwards. But welcome to another episode of The Flank, guys. I'm here with Ben Nissim. We obviously had stage 2 start off today, and we had a couple good matches, man. It wasn't a long day. It was a short day, right, Ben? But it was some good matches.
A short day. We got to see the new map, so a lot to talk about. We have a new meta, a lot to talk about. Interesting 2 matches today, I would say.
Yeah, very interesting. I think the first match we'll kick it right off, right, with New York and FaZe. It was a good match. It was a really good match. I think the first map is a big one to talk about. The first map's a big one to talk about.
Let me go find the vetoes, because I actually was really curious how this broke out. I need to find them now.
Yeah, go find the vetoes. First of all, we'll pause it here. We got our cities on the left side. Okay, never mind.
So I liked what ATL did here again. They really always do a solid job of vetoes. They just said, we love the New York guys, and go click the X on the bottom. What are you doing here?
The fuck are you saying?
We love the New York guys. We're not going to put Scorpio guys in any of the checkmate maps. And then New York, on the other hand, I mean, it's hard to veto against FaZe. I think Moscow was a good, solid pick. Really, all the picks in New York made it here really solid.
Yeah.
So we got a good set. We were able to get 2 of the new maps in, and we actually saw those maps live. And we can hop to the first map. I think my overall thoughts on this series, Tom, was like, I know FaZe outslayed them by a lot. But I actually thought all the respawns were like pretty close.
Yeah, I mean this game, this New York came out really hot and they looked really good. Where are you going? New York.
Well, I need to go back, so I want to explain how the start of this map happened.
Okay.
Something wild happened.
So New York came out hot. They looked really good. The one main thing that I want to focus on, at least for New York, I was paying a little bit more attention on the New York side. So Ben, if you see anything on the FaZe side, let me know. But for me, just watching New York a little bit. And even hearing them talk after the match, it was the P2s. I mean, there was one P2, the second. I think it was the second rotation. I don't know if it was the first, second. We'll get there. P2. Yeah, but they kind of let the game go a little bit. I'm sure FaZe has some things that they messed up, but I was paying attention more to New York, and they definitely had the opportunity to take the game away and really storm through this first map. But they messed up. They messed up big time. Asim was making big plays to get those P2 spawns. Like, he was going huge, playing kills through green, playing kills back bricks. And it just wasn't enough. And I think New York knows that, and they were really frustrated after the match, right? They were really annoyed at themselves. They were bickering a little bit, but that's because they want to win, right? So when you see little things like this happen, obviously we'll point it out as the game goes on. But what were you going to say, Ben?
So, like, the start of this map was really funky to me. I want to point something out. So, like, FaZe has a really good break here. They get 4 dead. And where number 7 spawns, like, I've never seen that before.
Interesting. That is interesting.
It totally screws up the pacing of this for FaZe. Like, FaZe was set up here, like, obviously the 2 guys come off the spawn,
that's weird.
Control. They had to get the 2v2s. Like, they weren't totally necessarily going to get this hill time continuous, but if I play this out, they get flipped instantly. Because they do not expect DiamondCon to spawn bricks. It's a weird spawn. I've never seen it before. It may have just been a weird timing with how both teams spawned in there, just with the back being totally open, but I mean, it just didn't work.
That is a weird spawn. That is very weird.
And now you're in a tough position. They're basically already pushed out.
Yeah. So New York again. New York comes up to a hot start. That was a weird spawn though, Ben. That was weird. Why do you think that happened? Can we break it down a little bit and see maybe why that happened? Because that's big. A flip right off the rip is kind of big.
I don't think this. I think it's just a funky situation. I mean, I have to go back a little bit more, but
I don't know. That's pretty weird, bro. I've never seen that.
They had 2 guys top green. They chow out this guy and they kill the guy floating tank. They get all 4 kills. The 2 guys top green die. I mean, there's nothing influence. I don't know.
That's very weird. That's very weird. Yeah, it's a weird one. Maybe the guy in Gen's pushing up with it again. Like, I don't know. New York is.
But they're stacked on
yeah,
hill. Like,
yeah, it's weird. Yeah, it's a weird one.
It's a weird spawn. They'll fix it. Oh well. Stuff happens. But I agree. Like, the P2s were kind of interesting. I feel like that was sort of the chance that New York kind of running up here.
Yeah.
And they just get kind of mixing on rotation. You watch situation. I think the P1, the first one wasn't as egregious as the second one was.
Mm-hmm.
But you get in a situation here where you're already pushed out. You're sad. Like, they got to kill all these guys at the old P1 time.
Yeah.
But FaZe do a good job of making this P2 really mixy. They get 3 dead. They do a great job of collapse on this guy in hill.
They're really good at breaking, Ben. Right? They're just really good at it.
They were the best breaking team last year, and they're the same this year. I mean, they just have really good dynamicism with their SMG players. They're just really fast in making decisions as a team and collapsing and pinching hills. And I think a lot of that also has to do with sort of, you've played the Chris Crowder system. It's the pinch from all sides system. We don't want to face smash into everything. Set up those really good quick breaks and just hit the, the combo, the uppercut, and then you're taking the hill.
I mean, is that a Chris Crowder system or is that just the right way to play COD?
I think it's the right way to play COD, but some might disagree.
Yeah, I mean, some people might disagree. I don't really know, but I feel like most people know the system, right? The pinch out spawns, right? Spawn people out. Most people look at it that way. Some people obviously have different ways of playing. Every team is different, right? But that's definitely the Crowder system for sure. Chris is a fan of that stuff. I'm a fan of long routes and stuff like that. And the key to breaking, guys, is you want to come from all lanes. You want to come from all lanes. You want to make sure that you're setting up properly, so when you do get kills, the other team's spawning out. Because if you're not blocking certain things and you're just kind of face smashing or going one by one, it's never gonna work. You're never gonna break spawns. You're never gonna spawn people out. And it's just gonna be a flood fest, and you're not gonna be able to do anything out of it. But FaZe does a good job isolating people out. Like, right, if they know that one guy's in the front of the hill, they'll flood them out. If they know that they're properly set up, they'll take the time and work pinches, right? So it's just knowing the situation and just being quick with your decision making. And I think that's what makes FaZe just really good at breaking, is that they're always on point and they're always on the same page, and they do everything so fast, and they don't let the other team have a chance to breathe. And that's just ultimately what it comes down to. And they're very talented. On top of that, they got good. The whole team's got good skills.
They have to put you in positions where you front run them.
Yeah.
So they have to actually make plays. If you let them get a lead, like when we saw what happened in map 4, like and you play the split 30s, like they're not going to cede ground and make a lot of mistakes to let you get back in the game. Like that's why they're so difficult to beat in hardpoint, and maybe they're not the best straight up team. Maybe Chicago is in that fact, but
remind this, Ben. I want to listen to this.
You want to the comms?
Yeah, I want to hear the comms.
Just give me a second.
Because I'm sure there's some people in here who didn't get a chance to see the map. I know.
By the way, can we shout out? I love this new overlay they have. They made the box bigger. They listen to all the feedback here.
Yeah. It does look great. Bigger. Looks great.
It's a lot better, but yeah, we'll stay back.
I'm listening, Ben. Trying to be quiet.
Stay top rank, Connor. I'm gonna drop out. Go. I'm dropping out my tanks.
Are you Ivor deep boxes right now? Nothing boxes.
I'm
gonna flank them. Yo, deep boxes, 2 boxes. Okay.
Tools plating plat. 2 boxes. Heard you. 2 boxes. Looking plat. I have plat.
One. Huge kills, guys.
One
boxes.
Easy. Last kid. Last kid. Guys, good time.
Fucking get this shit, man. Mac, I'm pushing. I'm push out Jen. I saw him plat.
Okay, I'm about to stop this guy. Stay green. I'm gonna kill him.
Ivor boxes.
Alec, dead. One more for plat.
Nothing box right now.
BC plat.
Sim boxes. He slid to the left.
One back foot, one shot. There's two foot on you.
Okay.
And one
Jen.
One out.
Okay, top sky and underside.
Top foot.
Just hide, Mac.
I'm in a corner dark.
Yeah, live for us.
One shot. He's on B-search.
Under fridge.
He's B-search right now, Sim. Gotta go, Ben.
Yo, top sky, Sim. He's one shot of full guy.
That sounded pretty good, Ben.
We've got it.
Yeah, I really like their comps. They're clean, they're concise, they're calling shots. It's not too frantic. And from talking to ASIM, I know that comms are part of the reason why they feel like they played so well last stage, and that's a mistake that a lot of young teams make. It gets too frenetic and too chaotic, but they've kept it under control, and it allows you to, as a team, make the correct decision instead of it just being chaos all the time.
Well, knowing Bobble and JP, they're always talking about comms. That's like a big thing with them. It was a big thing with us last year with Lamar and Donnie and Dylan and that team, right? And Mac, was our comms, because we felt like if we weren't comming properly, our teamwork was always off. So I know New York is focusing on that. And what we mean by comms, guys, when we say comms, we don't mean just like calling out every little thing like top full P1 hit, fucking spam calling comms. It's small talk. Call out what you're watching. Call out what you have. Call out where they're spawning. Call out where you're spawning. Calling out important information that makes it easier for your teammates to be able to focus on their game without having to worry about looking at a minimap. Because if you're calming really well, it just makes the whole game easier for everybody on the map. And when you're all moving in full force, you're gonna fucking fry, right, Ben? You know how important comms are, and a lot of people don't realize how important comms really are. Like, you'll see with a lot of these young players, they don't talk. Like, people just don't talk. I had a problem when I first came into the league 8 years ago in Ghost, where I didn't talk much. And Chris used to yell at me all day, like, dude, you need to talk. He would just yell at me every single day until I got it right. And then eventually, you get used to it. You just got to get into the habit of doing it. And I think some of these players need to learn how to communicate, but also playing at the best of their capability. And New York sounds really good. Comms are a huge fix for us too. Yeah, I know it's a big thing with the FaZe guys. It usually happens with those players who are just super talented because they're just running around frying everything. They're not talking. And I know Simp, I know you guys still might have some problems with comms, right? Like you guys still might have some problems here or there with people not calming and saying what they're doing or just not being on the same page. And I think ultimately that's why you guys are looking really good this year. I feel like you guys have improved that.
It's like you can do the basics. You can spawn up and say, here's where I died from, but like you gotta do more than that. You gotta say where you spawned from, what you're picking up, like the small talk, like that's where people get crushed. Because if you do the basics, then you're just gonna get balled over because you have no idea where anyone's coming from.
Yeah, somebody said Formal's comms is really good, and I agree. Formal does a really good job. Have you ever watched Formal play? Especially because he's like that AR player, right? He's kind of looking over everything. Yeah. He's being the facilitator. He does a great job calling out where people are spawning, what to push, what to do, trying to bring the team together, and he's very calm as well. Formal's never freaking out in game. He's always very calm. You can always understand what he's saying. So shout out to him. He's somebody said that in the chat, but it's very true. He has very good comms. But you could continue to play this, man, because this is where things spiral.
We talked about this PT.
Yep, this is where it spirals. So right now it's 150 to 115. New York has rotation of P2. Pause it right here. Boom, pause. Okay, so this falls apart. And right here, New York needs to secure this P2. This is a money hill. They have rotation. They have to lock this down because they basically win the game here if they can lock this down. They don't win the game, but they set themselves up pretty good to win. I see Mac playing an off angle in vent, which I like, but I think he got too aggressive too fast. I think he should have waited a little bit. I don't know if they knew he was in there. I know he ended up poking and he ended up dying. I'm not sure if they knew he was in there, but I don't think they did. So I would have liked to see him. I would have liked to see him maybe like slow play it a little bit. Like he shouldn't have been the first one making the move. He should have waited till they all ran by, or like, I don't know, just gave it a little bit more time because
I think they knew.
Oh, yeah, he just said they knew. Okay, so they knew he was in there. So they take him out. And then Diamondcon, I think Diamondcon makes a little mistake here. If you rewind it, Ben, he jumps off of that tank heading. Instead of just holding the cross, I think he tries to help Mac. I heard them talking a little bit about it after the match. And I think Diamondcon just tried to help Mac. He realized that Mac was in trouble and he got off the heady. But right there, all he should do is just hold the cross, stay on the heady, stay on the tank, and just fire some shots into people crossing. And just make it harder for FaZe to try and get into this hill. But it's too easy, Ben. It's too easy.
You gotta take advantage of the situations they come.
Yeah.
P2 is a huge money hill in this game. Same with P3, and you just can't get insta broken like this and then give FaZe a window to get back in this game, which is what they did.
It's just too easy, and this is where things start to fall apart. Like if you're New York, you need to hold that time. They end up breaking back into it, but now it's just mixy. They didn't get much time out of it. FaZe got a lot of the time, and now FaZe is pushing through to next, and New York is spawning out. So it's just a really bad situation if you're New York. Like you had the perfect scenario to take this game by storm, and they lost it. And it's those little things, right? It's like those little rotations that they can't let happen, and they let it happen. And I know with New York, I'm pretty sure this P2 hill has been a problem since the start of the game. It was a problem when I was teaming. This is like our worst hill. We can never get good holds on it. So it's something they definitely need to go make sure that they're going back to practice and really figuring out how to really lock down this P2 because something's just not working or not clicking on that hill. And they could have took the game there, Ben, or at least got a better chance at taking the game. They could have got close to it.
What happens is, and we'll all play this out. Sim basically goes off on the next two hills, gets streaks. Like,
yeah.
I mean, he basically just locks down middle map by himself. I mean, they had a window here to get up 100 points. They tossed it. And you against a good team like FaZe, they're going to punish you. And you give their space for their top tier players, their world-class players. And you and I both agree Sim's up there and one of the best players of all time combos already.
So if you pause it right here,
yeah,
Simp is 21-17 here. Yeah. If I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure he ended this game like 36-20 or like 34 and 34 or 30. He goes insane. And bro, I feel like every time I watch him play, I say the same thing. I'm like, dude, like this guy's not human. Like he's doing things that I just don't see other players doing. He's really good at just like finessing and playing his life, and he just seems like
a lot of these kills with like QBZ here. Like he's not your watch. Like
he goes on. He gets a 4-piece right here. He goes on a little streak. Like he just does a good job of like he's very accurate. He's very hard to kill. His positioning is very good. He's a very smart player. He has a lot of knowledge when it comes to the game. I'm more impressed. Not after this. This is impressive, but you know they're just lining up for him. He's getting free kills, right? Like he's talented. Like these are free kills for him. When he's L-wall and he's running around with his 74U and he starts like spinning in circles and getting these clips, like bro, like he's just making it so easy for his teammates. Like honestly,
again, this is a situation right here where New York. You are set up right now for one of the hardest spawn traps in the game.
Yeah.
The deep tank spawn trap.
They messed up here.
They mess up, they don't take advantage, and they get put in the spawn trap, and that's how they lose. So let's play it out, and we'll see exactly what happens. Obviously, Chris has got streaks, which makes it kind of hard. But again, they're not really pushed up to try to get the guys off of spawn. They're forced now into playing in bricks. The kills go down. Then they're left in a 1v3 situation. Mac actually gets 2 kills.
Which is a big 2-piece to slow him down.
But Tyler's pushed out front. Abizi's pushed out front, so they're not able to get mid control. And now
right here,
set up to take over lights.
This is where Chris goes nuts. He goes nuts right here. Picks up 2, slides around, gets 3. And that's such a big 3-piece because now he completely just flipped them out.
Now the game's basically over.
And he's still going. Like, they can't kill him. New York is pinned in that corner. Number 1 does a good job. That's RC's kind of blocking, kind of pushing up and kind of pinning them right into that back corner of the map. And now New York is funneled. They're funneled and FaZe has them trapped, and it's over. New York kind of messed up a little bit, and FaZe does a good job capitalizing on it. And that's just something about FaZe. It's like even when a team makes mistakes, right, or when a team's not playing to their best, FaZe is just like, they're going to pounce on you, bro. Like, they're going to make use of every little thing. And that's the thing. If you're going to want to beat a team like FaZe, you have to play nearly, like, pretty much flawless. And that's pretty hard to do, man. It's not easy to play flawless COD. So
I was excited. So we'll move to the second map, Express S&D N. This was a very interesting map to watch. It didn't play out like I wanted to. So before, just for context, like over the weekend, I watched some Express S&D VODs from Black Ops 2 because I was curious how the map played like
back then till now, you're saying?
Yeah. So like what I saw was B becomes a nade fest off the break. It comes down to like you had your trophy every life there. Yeah. So that's going to be a big meta in this is throwing nades and not letting that team plant B bomb because it's really hard to retake. Yeah. If they sit back like in the elevator, if they sit back and use the walls and the tunnels and they push up both sides, like it's really, really hard. Yeah. I think FaZe do a really good job off the break and just getting pressure, and then they start failing on defense here because New York just gets free plants. Yeah. For one, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I thought you were done. Yeah, for one, I want to say it's awesome to see Express in the rotation. I love this map in S&D. I think it plays out great, and it's bringing back some of the nostalgia from just old CODs. Reminds me of some good times. So I love seeing this map. Of course, MC, bro. This map is first off in the rotation, and this guy already's got wallbang spots, man. Like, well, they're prepared. They're prepared, and they go in and they practice, including Apocalypse, right? Like, FaZe looked really prepared in the new maps. I mean, they end up losing this here. They lose this map, but they start off strong. They go up 3-0. I thought they were going to just storm roll through it with the way they started off, but then New York does a good job adapting and just kind of changing up their play. And then FaZe also seems to just start giving up sites. I don't know if they're just very confident in their retakes. But it looked like FaZe was. I think just playing the map wrong. I know they talked about it after. It's like you can't give the team free B plants 4v4. You got to get a pick. You got to give yourself numbers because that retake is so hard. It takes so long. Like you gotta get into ticket booths and be annoying. You gotta not let them cross to the bomb and be stuck on those stairs. So whether you're using nades or bodies or gunfire, like whatever you got to do to get them stuck and have them play their tunnel because it opens up the push through A, it opens up the full flanks, it opens up a lot of mid-map stuff if you do it. So, and A-bombs, like, unless you get hard countered A, like, you can really check it with one person and you'll watch. I went back and watched what a lot of teams in Black Ops 2 did is they sent 2 guys to A, didn't see anything A, the guy wrapped back B. And got ready for the retake with his teammates. Yeah. No, for sure. I think, but I do want to give credit to New York because I do feel like they were adapting and I like how they go down 3-0 and they just keep the gas pedal pushing, like they applied pressure. They did what they had to do. They were working through that site. I mean, you could fast forward a little bit, Ben, to when FaZe goes up 3-0. They have one of the best Express S&D players, Clayster. I mean, he was absolutely filthy on this map back in this. Yeah, and I'm curious too because you said you went back and watched it a little bit. I'm curious to see how, as time goes on, because it's still early and a lot of these teams are learning. But I just feel like times have changed a little bit, right? Like you got new players, you got people who are more creative now. Obviously, there's a slide mechanic and different stuff. So this map might be played a lot differently.
So I think if we just give it some time, we might see some crazy stuff, like some crazy strats coming out of this
defense,
map.
So I went back and watched, and I think defense gets to the bomb a little bit faster than they used to. So I think that's going to change his map up. The other thing too, like I said, is people toss a lot of trophies, like when you're making those B pushes on offense, and you don't get your trophy every life. So nade stuns are going to be really important. That tunnel guy, either he's getting help from someone going top or what have you to throw nades over there. That's going to be really interesting to see how that meta evolves.
Yeah, for sure. So kind of what was happening with New York, or with FaZe, like going into these next few rounds that they lose, they just, like you said, they just gave up the B bomb site, right? Like they just started playing slower.
Let me skip to an offense that New York wins. It's the next one.
So this defense FaZe played it a little bit slower. They didn't push up on the site. New York got pushed up, got control, and it just seemed like New York got map control there and just took care of business. Now going back to this offense, New York decides to hit through to B, and going back to what we talked about, it's like MC's here by himself. He's putting in some wall bangs. Doesn't hit anything. New York just runs right up.
The issue is number one there is the way they're playing this is really number 3 or number 4 needs to pick up middle when they wrap back or either push through. Alex got to get in a ticket or he's got to watch the cross. They have no eyes on anyone crossing the B bomb. So because MC, look, you can't wide peek that tunnel. You're going to get gunned. Like you have no idea where they are. They could be to your left, to your right. They could be on the head glitch. So it's the guys middle are going to give him info on who's crossing, and that'll give Cell room to make plays if he gets a teammate that reps back with him. Great, but they're just conceding too much map control here. And if you can just get the bomb down and back up like in a 4v4, it's just really hard to retake.
Well, I think they're playing for the retake though. I think that's the goal here.
It's not a good strat.
Yeah, I know. And that's what I'm saying is like it's still early, so they're probably going to go back and watch this and change up a lot of stuff after watching this back. But you're right. Like if you just let a team just get the bomb down for free in a 4v4 COD, like it's pretty easy to just hold your lanes. Some get stuck there. That sucks.
But I mean they have full crossfires. They have all the trades. Like it's just so hard to retake. Yeah,
it is very hard. It's hard to retake. So and they tried taking routes and hitting the site from every lane. So it was a good attempt, but it didn't work. And then back to this defense. Do they hit this? Does his face just bang this out? They do. So it's just like a bloodbath. They get there at pretty much the same time.
Yeah.
They get there pretty much the same time. It's the same shit on both. The map is symmetrical, man. Like it's literally symmetrical. Like they get there at the same time.
But I think offense, at least what I used to saw, maybe it's because teams would slow down. I feel like offense got there quicker, but that may also be because people are throwing nades. Very curious, kind of with slides and all the other stuff. Like if it still happens. If D gets there faster, then this map will play a little more methodical. Teams might be able to get away with the B rushes like early on, but teams are going to get really good at kind of like calling the crosses and forcing the offensive team to be more methodical.
Yeah, no. I just like how New York was down 3-0 and they just changed it up a little bit and they kept the aggression up.
Yeah.
They didn't let off the gas pedal. Usually when teams go down, or sometimes when teams go down, they get a little, they start playing a little scared and they start just playing really, really slow. But it was the opposite for New York. I saw DiamondCon doing this a lot. Or he did this once. He army crawled all the way up just to die. And I was like, fuck, that blows. But good first blood out of Clay. DiamondCon goes down. 3-3 situation. And that's all you really want to do on offense is try and work a trade and just open up the map a little bit.
Again here, even in the 3v3, they go with the same setup, essentially, with one less guy, and they have no one.
Yeah.
They have no eyes.
They're just giving up the site.
I mean, you could,
which is weird. I wonder why they did that. I wonder like what was going through their heads. Maybe they just thought the retake was easier than they thought. I mean,
I just haven't played the map a lot. I mean, I know teams have scrimmed it, but like they probably played this map as a team a total of 2 or 3 or 4 times. But even then, like scrim S&D practice is different from regular practice. There's a lot of ways you can watch cross. You can watch it from top trains. You can watch from the ticket booth. You can slide across together. I think it's just reps. If you're phased, like it's a good map to lose because you can go back and be like, well, Express Master Clay showed us how to play this map on offense, and now we know how to counter on defense and try and win it back into our favor.
Yeah, well, Simp just said in the chat, he said, to be honest, we need more experience on the map. I didn't even know we were giving it up until Crowder told us, after the fact. So, I mean, you could say that for both teams, right? Like, it's early, so both teams are still learning how to play this map. So you're going to see a little bit of some hiccups here or there. People might be a little bit lost at first, guys. It's very fresh into the rotation.
Let's give credit to New York. Again, they came in. They did a really good job of adjusting after going down 0-3.
Yeah.
And putting themselves in a position. And I know ultimately they didn't win the series, but if you had told New York like going into the series like that they were going to be 1-1 after 2 maps, they'd probably take that.
And they look at. I mean, dude, to tie it up 1-1 and seeing how the first map went. because yeah, the first map, like obviously phase 1, and obviously phase is a great hardpoint team, probably the best hardpoint team in the game. But New York could have closed that map out, you know, if they cleaned up a few things. I mean, you could say that on both sides, right? Like you could say, I'm sure FaZe can go back and find a bunch of things and be like, you know, if we did this, we could have blown them out. But New York it was playing them close. Like the first map was close, the second map they won. The third map was a little back and forth at the beginning, and they let it go. And then the fourth map, Apocalypse, we'll get there. I mean, it was the first time we saw it. It's very, very new. But it's cool to see New York hanging. I mean, they got top 3 at the last major, and they're hanging with the best team in the game. Like, they have it in them, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, they have it in them to be great. So, this was nice to see. 5-5, we always love round 11s. I feel like I've seen so many round 11s on Express. Just from, like, over the years. Like, so many round 11s. It's, like, so exciting to see round 11s and just see teams banging out this B-bomb site.
This is a wild child from MC. I think that kind of pretty much tossed around in the bin at that point.
Dude, this just brings me back, like, so much nostalgia, because, like, back in the day, like, Black Ops 2, I just played S&D, and I just remember playing with Pharaoh and TJ and Jersey. I don't know if you remember Jersey. Like, just playing Black Ops 2 S&D tournaments with all those guys when we were young just, like, brings back so many memories, and I just had so much time. Like, RIP to Pharaoh, man. You know, we miss you, bro. Those are some good times, man. Those are some really good times. So it always reminds me of that moment. Black Ops 2 reminds me of Pharaoh a lot, honestly. Reminds me of Jay. So that was a lot of fun, man. Good times, guys. Good times. I'm not gonna lie. Those are some great times. I was young, energetic, healthy. My hands felt great. S&D was just so fun playing all the pros, right? Because I was like an amateur playing S&D tournaments, and I had the opportunity to play pros and like GB tournaments and stuff. So I just love watching that map. That map is sick. Which is why I wanted it in the rotation so bad. And now I want to see standoff. I say it every single weekend. But moving on, we're going into the raid control Ben. And this was another good one, right? Both teams come out strong and win both offenses, or win their first offense.
I'll skip through this map pretty quick because there wasn't a lot of talking points. I think the last round was probably the biggest talking point. But these are both like really good raid control teams. They're just so good at getting picks and just stacking hills and just maximizing chaos on offense.
New York does a good job hitting that water side, getting 2 takes on B real quick, and then they go back to A cap A, and then they get the take. They just did a good job getting off a good break, and then FaZe does the same thing. They come out hot on their offense, they get 3 dead, they cap A right away. They have a lot of time to work with, and then they just work towards B. I mean, if you get this 8 points so fast that you have all the time in the world, it's like all you need is 1 wipe, and you stack the point on this map, and you're good to go.
Yeah.
So both teams come out hot and win an offense, which is huge. You know, FaZe loses that first offense, so they really need to win the next one because they go down 0-2. It's not good. You see right here, BZ picks up the AR, gets a couple kills. New York is funneled. They get the kills. They stack the point. Pretty simple stuff, man.
Yeah, I think New York actually kills.
They break it, but the FaZe ends up getting it back.
They're already up a tick. You've got
and the lives. This gets a little mixy though. This round goes down to the final lives. It's good that FaZe just runs down the lives. New York brings it back though. FaZe definitely had an advantage. I know RJ was saying they were throwing this shit because they kind of were. But then they bounce back. They get some kills. Big 2-piece out of Tyler. He's always there when you need him, right? Like every time you need a big 2-piece or a big kill, like a BZ comes in and just like always pops a piece. So I like watching him play. He puts the streaks down. He's trying to scare New York a little bit. It almost looked like it wasn't gonna work because Mac picked up 2. I'm not really sure what happened here. Cell was able to pick up 2, which kind of hurt them a little bit. If Cell doesn't pick up 2 right there, that's a whole different round. I'm surprised that they let him do that.
No. They were already out of lives. They were gonna win this. I mean, it would have just been down to Chris. But like,
wait, what? Go back to that.
Yeah, the lives are already. They're Clazy one alive. Those last.
Wait, go back to that.
Yeah, I'm going back. Give me a second. Chill.
Wait, what do you mean they were out of lives?
Yeah, go look at the life count.
No, go back to before Cell gets the 2-piece.
Yeah, I'm going.
Yeah, pause it right here. It's 4-4 in favor of New York. Or it's 4-4 live count, and New York has 10 seconds to work with, and they're on defense. Time's ticking down.
Yeah, but Chris gonna get a free kill.
Nah, they know they're missing one. They're looking for. New York is literally looking for him. I'm saying I'm saying that was a huge two-piece, Ben. That was huge.
The two-piece is huge, but also Sim kills Diamond Com bottom bed.
I mean, yeah, but the thing is, Ben, is all New York needs to do is kill MC, and now the time's ticking down, and FaZe is forced to just run at the point. And if they have numbers,
I agree, but you can also contest from the front. Like they actually had enough time to get to the point.
Ben, that was in more of a favor of New York 100% of the day.
Oh, yeah,
like FaZe did a great job clutching up right there.
Brother,
like,
it's a mixy situation, but like the kills go down how they go down. Like I wouldn't think too much about that situation.
Oh yeah, I know. It's just the way you were saying it. You were like, no, the lives, like the live. Like Ben, it was literally 4-4 with 10 seconds left. Like I said, big 2 kills by MC. Like, bro, if they even if MC doesn't get a 2-piece, he gets 1 and gets traded. Like the fact that he goes down with a 2-piece just completely changed that round. So big plays at MC. He gets a 2-piece somehow. New York you could tell New York was looking for him, but they couldn't find him. And that's a big round. New York could have went up 2-0, Ben. It changes the whole map. Like that's a huge round. So MC goes huge. FaZe ends up clutching up. New York could have went up 2-0 and went right back to this offensive side. So that would have been insane. But now they tie it up. FaZe ends up coming out hot, and they take this defense as they should. Defense is the most favorable side. So it was cool to see some teams take some O's right off the rip. But we say it all the time, right? Raid control is like the easiest map to win offenses, I feel like.
These are also 2 of the best like control teams in the game playing right now.
Yeah. Now we definitely need a Len in the chat for that one for sure. Now we definitely need a Len in the chat. I don't know what Ben was trying to get at right there. That was like a huge moment in this game, like a pivotal moment. So I don't know what the fuck Ben was saying. So let's get some Lens in the chat. We got a Len emote on the way, guys. We got a Len emote. Don't worry, it's coming.
We do have a Len emote coming.
It's on the way. I'm getting some emotes made. It's gonna be cool.
But yeah, New York just get kind of in the spawn trap here. The live deficit already pretty large, so
they get funneled.
For New York, even if they had forced a round 5 here, they were probably stuck on offense unless they'd run up that round 4, which they don't, and they lose. But again, it's another example, Tom, with New York. When you get your opportunities versus a team like FaZe, you gotta take them. If not, they're gonna find their own opportunities, and you're just gonna get punished. And as we discussed earlier, they had opportunities to win all these respawns. And it came down to a couple of critical mistakes, and then we'll skip to the 4th round.
Yeah, you can skip through. We can move by this a little bit because we honestly like New York. They end up choking this defense, right? FaZe take it 3-1. Again, FaZe get the kills. They start working towards the point. They do a really good job just making the map mixy, just keeping New York on their toes. There was only 30 seconds left on the clock, and then they just let a BZ get into Tiki and just piece him up. If I remember correctly, he gets a couple kills.
They cap A, so they get into Tiki and they get some kills here, but they ultimately actually don't get this B cap. I believe they get A first. Unless I'm busted.
I'm just saying that the play that Abizi's making right here is like great plays, bro. He's just stalling so much time, and he's forcing New York back to the point where they open up the 8-point. They make New York rotate back. They got 9 seconds left. It allows FaZe to get on that point. They get kills. They trade it out. Abizi again finds himself back on the point. And they're able to extend this and get some extra time, and then they have more time to rotate over to B. So BZ just goes huge, man. He gets onto that B point, gets a couple kills, gets pushed up basketball. He forces New York back. New York is forced to rotate over. Then if FaZe dies, they get that close A spawn. They stack the point with 10 seconds to spare, or not even 6 seconds to spare, and they get the point. They get that extra time. Now they have a minute left on the clock to work with, but they're lives, right? They don't have the favor in the lives. They're down 4 lives. Yeah. All they need to do here, if you're FaZe or if you're New York, right? New York needs to hold and just get kills, and FaZe needs to try and work for a 4 dead and try and stack here because the lives are dwindling. New York does a good job getting kills. How did New York let this slip?
Yeah, I don't know. That's why I don't want to watch it through because I'm really curious how.
So it's 8 to 14. How do they let this go? I remember this. They didn't stack bed. They sent 1 mid map, 1 right. They didn't play tight enough. With 40 seconds left.
So Asim's top bed. They have 2 guys middle, 1 water stairs. Number 8 gets bad timing. Matt gets bad timing here in circle. Abizi kills Asim. So now they're struggling to get back control again.
Big kill from Clay, but they're still on the point.
Like they're still in a good spot here.
Clay's trying to finesse.
Abizi makes a great play hitting water stairs here, actually.
Keep it playing. Keep it playing. I want to see what happens here.
They trade the guy Tiki. And then New York New
York doesn't get the problem here was the kills bed. The kills bed. It's solo chows. It's just solo chows coming in from bed, man. FaZe has 8 lives to work with. New York has 14. They have 40 seconds on the clock to work with. New York needs to let FaZe try and make the play here. New York doesn't need to try and make the play.
I see what happened here. I think Mac made a bad play. So Mac is L, and he gives up L. Like, I agree with you. They don't push out bed, but watch what Mac does. Watch what number 8 does. He's like, no, I'm going to go back and wrap basketball. If he had gone to the L, like, he could have stalled them pushing up the front tiki.
Yeah, he could have stalled them.
They have no eyes crossing right now. They get the bomb site.
They play too passive.
The control point for free, yeah. And now you're getting a situation where you're sliding out basketball, and like it's hard, especially to get the trophy down. Like your stuns and your nades are not going to connect. And they just stack and they win these gunfights.
Like if you're in New York, bedroom is everything. Like just keep forcing the hand bedroom because you have lives. So if you just force the hand and just get the trades, like you're good to go. Like FaZe has no lives to work with. They're dwindling down. It's like they're focusing on the wrong things, and especially since they're getting that close spawn, like they should just keep flooding that over and over again. I agree, Max should have went L wall right there too. They should have played their crossfires better in bedroom. It looked like they were solo channeling, or they just got pushed. I don't really know what happened there. We'd love to talk to them about it a little bit, but they definitely messed that up. They threw that round, and that's what I'm saying, Ben. Is like these rounds, right? Like that control, like it's like every map has been close so far, guys. Like the hard point could have went either way. The S&D was 5-5. The control, there were so many mistakes going down left and right. Like I felt like New York definitely could have won some rounds there. I'm sure FaZe was messing up. I'm sure they're going back like, what the fuck were we doing, right? So it was a mixy match. Like both teams were making mistakes. That's what's gonna happen in COD. And it's just it was a close match until eventually we got to this fourth map, this Apocalypse, and I just think FaZe just stormrolled through this. They looked more prepared on this map, honestly. It's a new map.
I think this for FaZe, like they were really good and they had the pocket pick crossroads until up until the end. In the last stage, and if they replace that with another map they're good at, it's just so hard to approach them in vetoes. Like, what do? You don't want to play them on Moscow because they haven't lost there. They're good on Raid. They're good on Apocalypse. Like, they'll play a lot of Garrison. They'll win Garrison. Like, it's so hard. This team is so deep with their map pool. It's just really difficult. Now, that being said, to talk about this map specifically, I don't know about your thoughts, Tom, but I love watching this hardpoint map.
Yeah, no, this is a fun map to watch. This is a really fun match to watch. I just love the map. It's very vibey. Lots of colors. It just looks really cool. I love how fast paced it is. Like I just feel like it's just full of action. So it's really fun to watch. I'm still learning it a little bit, like the rotations and what people like to hold and stuff. I was talking to Chris a little bit and RJ about kind of things, about like how people like to play it or what people do. But it's a cool map. It's a lot of fun to watch. I see somebody in the chat saying Mac Rap's back to play a pair. 2 people with Spawn can play a pair. Mac Rap so he doesn't play a single chow. I understand what you're saying, bro, but at the same time, FaZe has no lives to work with, and they should just be working trades and just applying the pressure because they're just giving FaZe a chance to get on the point. It's all situational, bro. You should definitely be playing pairs and holding hands. But
get them free map control.
At the same time, you're giving up power positions to give the other team just free map control. So it's like it's situational, man. Like just because we say something about one situation doesn't mean we mean that for every single situation, and that's COD in general. It's very situational, and it's very you got to change up your play depending on what's going on. So not everything's always by the book, bro.
So I saw a tweet from Parasite, and I kind of agree with that. I think the spawns on this map are really deep, and when teams get really good at spawn trapping, like you get that top left spawn over there, on some of these hills, like that is a really tough spawn. And again, it's early too, so teams don't know how to make these hills mixy. You're going to see a lot of people 60-60 and then go down like 100 points. We saw that in the Seattle match especially, and we saw it in this match too. Like, it's going to snowball pretty quick for these teams. But I'm excited to see how this map develops. I just think it plays so smooth compared to the other hardpoint maps, and I'm glad we were able to figure out how to put it into rotation.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I remember we were talking about it on a show last week. Just like how the new map is in, how people were talking about it, and I didn't know much about it. Some people were saying it was trash. Some people were saying it was good. But now that it's in the rotation, I've been watching it play out by some of these pro teams. Like I love watching it. It's probably one of my favorite maps now. So I love it. And what are people calling this rock? Apparently, people are calling it turtle, but apparently it's a woman's head. And I saw a Reddit post saying that it's not a turtle, it's a woman's head, and everybody was up in arms. But
yeah, I don't know, bro.
I don't know what's going on. I gotta learn the call outs on this map. I need to make sure I'm watching New York scrim this map and just seeing what they calm everything, because I want to learn the map a little bit. A woman's head. That's what they said on Reddit. They said it was a woman's head. Optic calls it turtle. Everybody's been calling it turtle.
From like they've used that call in multiple games. Like they used it in retreat at one point in AW. Like it's just an easy call out.
Yeah, I don't know. Simp ends up getting streaks here. Like FaZe just builds himself a good lead. I'm pretty sure he gets a kill here in Hill. They don't get this break, I think, because it's hard to block the spawn. Yeah, well, I mean, that's something that they got to learn, like that close spawn, right? Like, they need to realize that they have to block that. So
Well,
I'm sure.
I also think that number 8 shouldn't spawn there, but that's a whole separate convo. This hill's really hard to break.
Mm-hmm.
You need to set up the pinch and pinch around the back unless they just give you those front kills, and they really shouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to see a lot of people getting like 50s and 60s on this hill.
Hey, someone a
'Cause
big 3-piece.
The other team's going to be like, well, there's no point in flipping these spawns for last 30 because I want the other side of the map for P1 and for P2.
Yeah. I wanna give a shout out to Asim too. Asim was doing his fucking thing, baby.
Asim fried this series.
He just looks good, bro. He looks so confident right now. I just love the way he plays, even when he's playing phase, right? Like he's just so confident, always in their phase, always making plays. He's super fun to watch. So shout out to Asim. He was doing his thing. But FaZe, I think FaZe was just more prepared on this map, Ben. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know the map much, but just watching it, it just seems like they were always ahead of the game. And again, I think you're gonna see teams just get better and better at it, including New York. Like they're gonna go back, they're gonna watch it.
I think this map suits their. It's maybe not so much preparedness. I just think this map suits their play style. A lot of close-up AR angles, which you know that someone like Salim's gonna excel at. A lot of areas which Simp and Abizi can do a good job cameraing, and Alec plays that sort of anchor position. And between him and Selim to picking up the pinch, like it just sort of suits their style and being able to run up the score really quick, get streaks in front run teams. They don't like as a team, they don't make a lot of like heavy rotational mistakes. Sometimes they get put in a position where they're having to break a lot, but if in this map, if they get that good side, like that P2 side, like they're going to be a really hard team to beat because they're just not going to give up a lot of P2 time.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest too. I see a lot of people in the chat saying it too. Does this map remind you a little bit of Valk? Because I don't see Valk at all in it though. Like where
I told you,
but a lot. Yeah, I know you're not the only one. A lot of people said the colors. I think World War II is dull as fuck.
It's like the colors and like the way it's just like because it's sort of like temple-y, like some kind of Mayan Roman thing going on here.
I thought Valk was like, I don't know. I didn't get the temple vibe from Valk. I got like a World War II, like a World War, like fucking Warzone map with a bunch of broken buildings and shit. This is more like a temple type vibe, like a jungle.
The first thing I thought of when I saw this map was Valk, but
really,
okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You're not the only one who says it. That's why I'm curious because I don't see it at all. I don't see Valk at all on this map. But I mean, everybody has a different eye for things. I see a lot of people saying it reminds them of Valk, but I don't know. Regardless, the map is sick. Shout out to FaZe. Good job by them. Shout out to New York because even though they did get the loss, and a lot of people can say whatever they want, I thought they played pretty well. I thought that, well, obviously they didn't play pretty well. They lost the series, but I'm saying they kept it close, right? Like the hard point could have went either way. The S&D they took, the raid control, they made some mistakes. And then the fourth map, I mean, they need more reps, bro. It's so early to be talking about Apocalypse because I feel like teams are still learning the in and outs of it. But FaZe just looked more prepared. But FaZe came out on top. They took advantage of mistakes. They played really well. They clutched up. You know, those players are super talented. So shout out to them. Probably the best team in the game right now.
And by a margin, I think for sure.
Which it's crazy how they haven't even lost. Have they lost the series yet this year? They haven't, right?
They lost kickoff classic to
that
Florida
don't fucking count.
Preseason, which I like, whatever. But anyway,
that don't count. But I mean, they look incredible. They look incredible, and New York honestly didn't play them that bad. But I think that New York has more in the tank to show for sure. But FaZe came out on top. So shout out to them. Good games to both teams. Was an absolute pleasure to watch that series. Any final thoughts on that series before we go to the next one, Ben?
My only thoughts are this is what I believe are the number 1, number 2 teams in the group playing each other. FaZe has the 3 hardest matches first, and then they play Gorillas in London, which should be dubs. And if you're New York, I mean, this is the one series you're likely not going to win this group. I still think they're very favored to beat Thieves. I think they're very favored to beat Toronto and LAG in London. So this may not be the first time we see this matchup in the next like 3 or 4 weeks.
Yep. Now let's go over to the next one. We got Seattle Surge versus the Florida Mutineers. This was a great series to watch. I'm so proud of Seattle, man, because I've been saying it. They have a lot of potential. You know they have it. Pristini came out. He looked great. The team was on full form. They looked like they were practicing a little bit. Obviously, they practice every single day, but it just looks like they're getting to that level where they're competing now, and they're looking good, and they're playing smart. And it's just nice to see. It's nice to see because I want to see these guys succeed. Joey Nubsy's over there getting them going. I know I cracked some jokes about Joey Nubsy being a sub, but I respect him as a coach, guys. You know what I'm saying? I respect Joey Nubsy as a coach. I'm sure he's working with the team every single day, and they look great. They look a lot better, Ben.
So I think this is a tale of 2 teams trending in 2 different directions. For Seattle, I think it's starting to click. We had a great series out of Pristini today.
Yep.
They've really been needing that for a while. Sam Octane also played really well. And for Florida, like, I don't necessarily agree with the community of their assessment of Florida right now. Like, people are all like Slack's no good. Yeah, I don't think that Slack is actually their problem, although he definitely could play better. They're not getting the production that they expected out of Skies. Big Wake had an off series. And I like Neptune, but one thing I've noticed in his gameplay that doesn't necessarily result in the numbers is he makes a lot of like ego child plays. He doesn't ever stop and let the game come to him. He's constantly moving forward and moving up, and it puts him in positions where he influences spawns in a poor way, or he just throws away his life. And I think it's sort of like throwing off their pacing a lot right now.
Yeah, I think the best way to describe Florida for me is like sporadic. Like they're just like all over the place. It just doesn't seem like they're playing as a unit sometimes, or maybe they're just not on the same page, or sometimes maybe I feel like they might be lacking confidence. I don't know what it is, but there's something about Florida, man, where things are just not clicking for them right now, and I don't know what they need to do to turn it around. But they definitely need to go back to the drawing board a little bit and watch their VOD and make sure they're pinpointing every little thing. And they're another one of those teams, man. If they don't put this together close, there's a lot of people out there that would love to play. You know what I'm saying? So like some of these teams, you want to see them start putting it together because we're in stage 2 now. If they're not putting things together, you got to think like, you know.
We talked about it. I mean, this is the word of this stage is, no pun intended, crossroads. A lot of teams either trending the upwards direction or they're spiraling as a team. And we're going to find out very quickly in the next 10 days if the elite teams not changed, or teams are starting to get better, or teams that are trending downwards, are they going to get to the point where you're talking about changes after the major? Or maybe there might be teams that might be calling up subs after week 1 of the league because they're having an 0-2 start.
Yep.
I'm very curious what happens.
And I know you already said it, Ben, but I just want to shout him out again. Pristini, man. Shout out to Preston, because I know that he's very hard on himself. And a lot of people might tease him for it and stuff. But at the same time, I love how passionate he is, and I love how much he loves the game. And it's refreshing to see someone like that who like really cares that much. He shows a lot of emotion, and you know, people might clown him or whatever, but I respect it. You know what I'm saying? I just like to see him playing confident. It just looks like he's very confident right now, and he's doing his thing. So shout out to him. He played amazing today. He looked great. And it's one of those things where if Pristini's playing like this, and you know what he's capable, he's a world champ. So you know what he's capable of doing. If he's playing like this and he has well-seasoned vets around him, like Gunless, Octane, Looney, like great players, they just kind of play around him, like they're going to be a great team. Like Seattle has a great team. Now, the one thing I will say is they looked great today, but now we got to see some consistency. You know what I'm saying? They look great. They play they play Florida, who's been looking a little rough. They haven't showed much signs of life. Honestly, they look good in practice, but they haven't been showing it in the matches. So now you want to see Seattle continue this run and keep it going. I know I've been talking to Big P a little bit. He's been feeling confident. He looked great as well. Big P's in full form. The whole team just looked good, and they looked on full form. Shout out to Dan. Shout out to Octane, all of them. So I've been saying it right, Ben, that I could see them putting it together. And they showed it today, but now I just want to see a little bit more. I want to see them keep doing it.
If you're Seattle, you're probably not going to beat Dallas, let's be honest. You're probably not going to beat Chicago. So going 3-2 and beating the other teams in your group that are going to potentially be 3-2 is huge. So they're going to need a result against Paris. They already got the result against Seattle, and the game against Minnesota will be big. And if they can win those 3 games, the other 2 games are a bonus, because you probably put yourself in a position to finish third in your group and be in winners round 1 and pull an LAG and make a run, and maybe you get a top 6 or a top 4 placing, and that totally changes the fortune of the team and how confident they play. Yep,
they came out strong in this first map. They set the tone. I was a little worried as the series was getting getting a little bit close, right? They go up 2-0. And in the series, Florida takes the control, and then things are getting a little mixy, man. I was hoping they didn't bring this to a map 5, because I would have loved to see Seattle take this 3-0, but Florida does a good job trying to bounce back.
Was there anything in the S&D you wanted to cover?
Not really. I mean, Seattle comes out hot again. They go up like 5-2, like 4-2, 5-2. They go up. They just play good COD, man. They were on full form. They were playing as a team. They were winning their ones. They looked really good. They're playing confident. I mean, there's nothing much you can say. Florida looked a little shaky again. It's just a lot of solo chows, a lot of bad decision making when it comes to S&D.
Well, I wanna. There's one thing I want to talk about. So, like, one thing I've noticed when teams play Florida, is they are figuring out how to expose number 5 on the map, Big Wake, aka Awakening, because he plays that broken plain spot. And I've noticed, and I'm sure other teams have noticed this too, when that number 6 guy, when Skies dies, Big Wig's now picking up 2 lanes. And they exploit this timing where he's peeking broken, and we'll watch it here in a sec, where he peeks the broken wing from the stairs side, like that side entrance, and he gets cameraed and he dies. And we saw it a lot in stage 1, and I saw it again in this. So if teams can figure out how to do that, I mean, it basically opens up this A-bomb to make a play.
They
this round
well, and one thing with Big Wig, good shots out of Pristini to get the wall bang. But they're going to have to start switching it up, man. You can't do the same thing all the time. These teams are professionals, man. They're going to go back before they're playing you, and they're going to watch your VODs, and they're going to try and find every little thing they can to break a team down. And that's one thing, you know, Seattle probably went back and did their VOD review. I know Looney likes to watch a lot of VODs, right? You know, there's players on the team that like to get nerdy with it and try and find different ways to break down the opponents. So Seattle just looked prepared, man. They looked ready to go today. They definitely want to make a statement in this stage 2, and it was good to see. I love seeing it. I'm happy for them. You know, I every time we do the flank, you know, people want to clown them and stuff, but how many times, Ben, have I said it? Like, you know, I think they can do it. I think they could put it together. They just need to do it now. And they need to do it fast, because if they let the season slip and they just keep losing matches, you're going to see a lot of these teams making changes. So I'm happy to see them turning it around now, and I just want to see some consistency and keep it going.
Here's what I'll say. Is all I want to see from Seattle with this team, because I don't think this team, frankly, is good enough to be a top 3 or top 4 team. I'll say that, and hot take whatever, Len's in the chat. But they need to be able to start beating like teams at their level, the Minnesotas, the Seattles, the Paris. Oh, sorry, not the Seattle. Sorry, they are Seattle. Paris, Minnesota, Florida. Like if they can get to top 6, top 8 position, we'd love to see them as a contender team, because they'll be able to potentially sneak series against the top teams because they prepare so well. Yeah. And also, I like this team because I know that they care. You know that Big P grinds. You know that Looney's grinding and he's watching VODs. You know that Sam's someone who can go off on any map. And I like Preston and Persini, and I want to see more series where he showcases that ability that we saw when he was on United. So
100%.
That's kind of where my head's at.
We could go to the next map, Ben. Just go through the control.
Control is a bloodbath. This is the one problem for Seattle. They are still in no man's land in control. And I don't. I've seen them now on all 3 control maps, and it's the exact same result. So I don't really know what their issue is with their control game, but it's their weakest game mode right now, and it's not close. And if they want to be competitive with these top teams, like
they got to figure it out.
You can't. Okay, we're taking the first 2 maps. Well, if you're losing game 3 to an Atlanta or a Dallas, and you're up 2-1, and maybe they took Team B and they've got their map pick coming up or something like that, like, you know, you're putting yourself in a tough position.
Yep. I think for them, and we talk about it a lot, is just controls the swing mode. And if they can't win a control, it's going to be a problem for them. So that should definitely be their main focus, right? Just kind of going into these next few matches is like going back to their controls, figuring out what they're doing wrong. Because if they could get good at control, you know, Seattle's got a good team here, Ben. They're looking better in S&D. They're looking better in Hardpoint. Now they just need to figure out that control, because it has been their weakest game mode. And they just really struggle to win it. And, you know, they know that, Ben. Like they're not dumb.
I just don't know if they're gonna. I don't know how much they can fix their control game. Like, look at the best control teams in the game. They have really good, aggressive sub players that are consistent, that can open up and make plays for their ARs to hold down map position and shoot over them. Like, when I look at this Seattle team, you don't necessarily have that. It's like contingent on one of those sub players having a great game and someone like Gunless going off. Yeah. And especially against when they play at Dallas or in Atlanta, like, it's just probably not going to happen. So I don't know if they can get good at this game mode, but we'll like to see them like get closer to 500 maybe.
They could get good at it. I think it's just they got to find the right way to play it that fits them. Every team's different. Every team has their own play style. Maybe they should just go back to the drawing board and try and figure out something that works for them. But I definitely think they could do it, Ben. I mean, they have the right tools to be better. You know, like they're not just gonna be shit all year in control.
No, I know, but they've
already improved.
You can't front run control because they're different rounds. You know what I mean? Like it's not that easy. I also don't think that Checkmate's that easy of a map for them to do it. Now, maybe their thought process is, well, like, it puts our ARs in a position where we can just get in a lot of pre-aim positions. But people are still figuring out the new meta, so, you know, maybe it won't necessarily play that case in the future. But they got kind of smoked on this map.
Oh, yeah, they got smoked. This map was interesting.
Checkmate hard point. They went down to the wire. Couple of great plays from Looney at the end. Sam, aka Octane, finally had a map where I felt like he made a real impact in the W. We haven't really seen that from him a lot this year. And I think Seattle's going to walk away and feel really good about how they played this last map. And I agree with you. Hopefully, they use this to kind of kick on the rest of their season.
You know, it got a little scary towards the end of it. Florida started off hot. Seattle brought it back. It was a pretty good game. Towards the very end, it got really mixy, right, Ben? I saw Gunless go on that little streak over towards this hill, the second rotation, when he was in Wood. He was on like an 8 or a 9 streak. So Big P was heating up. You know what Big P brings to the table. So shout out to Gunless. He's been looking good. But it just got really mixy. If you just want to rewind it to the end, I think Seattle does a really good job towards the end of the map. First, they do a good job bringing this back, right, with Big P going on the streak and everything. Then when they go to this last hill,
I'm gonna back up a little bit, but go ahead.
I was just gonna say they get to this last hill, and Sam does a good job getting in this hill here and picking up some kills and just staying alive and contesting this because he knows that his team has rotation for the next hill.
I was so nervous, man. He's doing this with like a QBZ.
Yeah,
like,
and it's like he does a good job not over peaking anything and just kind of staying alive. He gets a big 2-piece here. Florida needs to challenge this together, and that's what I'm talking about, the solo challenge. They didn't even talk right there. You could tell. Like Neptune's YYing while Awakening just runs out and chows, and Sam just pops a big 2-piece, and that's huge. Like if Florida can just coordinate something there and maybe do something together, they might be able to break on in and break this. But Sam does a good job, pops the 2-piece, capitalizes on the mistake.
Wallbangs out of Florida. You have the good side to wallbang these walls, and they're just straight up not doing it.
I mean, but the thing is Seattle has the positioning right now. They have the upper hand. Seattle doesn't need to do anything. They have spawns for next.
Florida should do it because they're not in that good position.
Yeah, but I mean, the angles that Seattle's playing, like they're in pretty good spots where it's gonna be hard to wallbang. I mean, Seattle just does a good job being patient, and they know that they have the advantage. And instead of just running out and challenging and doing something stupid, they play smart and they hold. And it does get a little bit mixy here. I'm pretty sure Florida comes in and breaks this, but Seattle comes right back and finishes it off. But good job by Seattle.
Looney gets a spawn here in the back, and I actually don't remember how this happened, so I kind of want to watch it. Because I was watching this situation, I'm like, okay. Oh, because they all spawn out. Okay, so I see what happens. So Big Wig spawns in the back. Okay, so now Seattle's in the front, and I was watching this, so I was like, okay, well, I guess he's going to come out of some mixy situation. Oh, he just gets straight through left.
He just ran.
Yeah, he
ran there.
He got good timing. Jerry just...
I mean, that's a good play out of Dan to take that route. And that's what Dan does. He's been doing it for years, baby. Dan, the route man. He takes a route. He decides to take a longie. He has a sub. I think number 8 comes out spawning, and he sees...
He's got to pick up the pinch there.
But he probably sees his teammate looking left. He probably thinks that nobody can get there. But Dan just finds the timing, and he hits it quick. He knows that they're coming off spawn. He finds the timing on the map, and he hits, and he makes a really good play, Ben. Honestly, Dan makes a really good play. He gets behind him.
Frantic, yeah.
He gets behind him, and he gets the guy out of hill, and now he's just staying alive here, picks up another kill. Big plays out of Dan. He gets the spawns back for his squad, gets in the hill, and they close it out. He picks up 3. Shout out to Looney, man. That was a great play to finish out this game. So shout out to Seattle, man. They look great. They played a lot better today. I'm happy for them. I would like to see them keeping this going. And just hats off to them, man. Florida needs to come out strong, and they need to play. They need to come out to play tomorrow, Ben. They got Minnesota tomorrow. They got to come out to play. I can actually pull up the games because we'll do some predictions here.
Yeah, pull the other games pulled up.
Yep, I got it. You know, the production's on point today, ladies and gentlemen. We're already ready to go. I got it right here. We got some good matches here tomorrow. I'm excited for tomorrow just because I'm always excited to watch some COD. But we're kicking it off with Optic. Chicago Optic going up against the Paris Legion.
Well, it's Saturday's matches. Top right, brother.
Oh wow, they did. Okay, so that's okay, you're right. We got LA Thieves versus Toronto. The production's a little off, ladies and gentlemen. It started off good, and now we're fucking it up, or I'm fucking it up. LA Thieves, we need an L for me. What's an L for me? Yours is Len, but that just rolls off the tongue.
Luma doesn't have
Luma's kind of whack. Luma's kind of whack. I don't know. We got to come up with something for me. We need to come up with an L for me. But we got LA Thieves versus Toronto Ultra. Now this one's a big one. Oh, Lamy. I kind of like Lamy.
This one might break. Actually, this is kind of a hot take, but this might be a lose or go home kind of game. Like between Toronto and LA, like neither of them really want to lose this match.
So
if you're Toronto and you lose this match, it's like, well, what are we doing by dropping Zenny? If you're LA Thieves and you lose this match, you're like, well, now we're in a tough position because we got to beat New York and Atlanta to really finish in winners now.
Yeah, well, I'm curious to see how 100 Thieves come out, because what happens if 100 Thieves comes out and loses this? You think they're done? You think they're going to change?
Yeah.
You think they are? You think they're done?
Maybe not immediately, but that would be the beginning of the end for them.
Or maybe they'll finish the weekend out. They need to play well. LA Thieves needs to play well here.
I mean, they gotta play New York on Sunday. Like if they lose at Toronto, they could definitely go into like I don't. NYSL like really want to avenge that loss they had against Thieves. Like like that I do not have Thieves favored in that match. Thieves have to win this game, and the same thing for Toronto. Like these two teams are likely going to be tied with each other in this group. I don't think either of them are favored to beat New York, so they'll probably end up 3-2 at best, and they may be tied. So whoever wins this is probably the team that makes winners with New York and FaZe.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to watch this one just because you got new faces on Toronto. A lot of people putting no Zinni, no Winnie, right? So I want to see how Toronto comes out without Big Zin, and I want to see how LA Thieves comes out, especially with all that drama going around with CDL Intel talking about picking up Venom and stuff. I don't know if he's signed. I'm hearing he is signed. I don't really know. I don't know the whole. It's all rumors, right? It's all controversy.
Yeah, I've heard they might make 2 changes. I've heard the whole. Game
Oh, 2.
Yeah.
And one thing we want to talk about is Kenny.
On the table,
Kenny's on a sub
ahead.
now. They changed up some roles.
Kenny's on a sub, and they haven't been playing well in scrims. So
they have or haven't?
Have not. They've been getting rolled starred. So like, I don't really know. From talking, here's the thing. So I talked to a few people, just trying to get some updates to sort of see where kind of everybody's at.
Right.
What I've been told is that like a team that scrimmed LA Thieves told me that they sort of like are playing a little bit too slow now. They're like afraid to make mistakes. Like they're sort of in that weird spot as a team where they don't have a lot of confidence. Now, if they win this series, they're going to have a lot more confidence and they might kick it on from here. But Toronto is a no joke team. When their subs are on, they fry. I'm really curious to see how they play with Insight. They obviously made that move to try and get someone like Ben.
Let's see what he
Vance
can
to
do,
play a little
Ben.
better.
Let's see what this kid can do.
But here's what I'd say, Tom. I have Toronto winning this 3-1.
Don't you got him winning it 3-1. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna go Toronto 3-2.
Okay, neither of us picked Thieves. Wow. Shocker.
I mean, I don't know. It's just by what everybody's telling me. You're telling me that I'm seeing that the team's in shambles. They're looking to pick somebody else up. You're telling me that they're not doing well in practice. I'm just going based off what you're telling me. I'm hearing Insight's been doing well. I'm hearing he's been doing his thing. People have been talking very highly about him.
Yeah, I've been heard they've been scrimming actually really
well. It wouldn't surprise me. I see a lot of people in the chat talking about Donnie and an AR and like kind of clowning him for it, but Donnie's really good on the AR. I like Donnie on the AR. Yeah, Donnie's a beast with an AR. And a lot of people are always, there's team changes going down, but with the 100 Thieves is like, I feel like they can make it, like they're a good team with very talented players. So like talking about a change is crazy, but maybe they feel like they need it. But we'll see how they come out tomorrow.
I mean, if it were me, I wouldn't have signed Donnie in the beginning of the year, but that's a story for another day.
I think they have 4 guys who could definitely compete right now and be a great team. I'm just curious to see if they can put it together.
Okay, let's have this discussion. Screw it.
Okay, go ahead.
What is your definition of great? Because my thought process, okay, so they keep Slasher and they keep Kenny. I think those 2 players are great. Cornerstone Championship players. They had an opportunity to move on from Tej and not pick up Temp. And I was a little surprised that they didn't try and like mix things up.
Because they know what Tej brings to the table. He's won before. He might not have had the.
But
he might not have had the best year in
2 years.
Okay, he might not have had the best MW year, but look at somebody like Bruce. Like they might have saw, coming into Black Ops this new game, maybe they thought TJ was gonna be. And TJ's been playing well, Ben. He's been doing his thing.
Yeah, I think what happened here is that they are a victim of a lot of players that are in that circle group, which is they like to be in the comfort zone of teaming with players or their friends. I hate to say it, it's a dick thing to say, but I just think that they needed to mix up that roster. They had an opportunity to come in and bring in some younger players. I mean, they played a lot better when they had.
First of all, it's not a dick thing to say. Clear your mind and give your opinions. Because when I was competing, people said whatever the fuck they wanted about me. I was always hearing shit about me. This guy's saying this. This guy's saying this. So who gives a fuck? Say what you want to say.
Here's my thought process.
All right.
I think that they should have tried to get a little bit more experimental in the offseason because, frankly, I think Dallas and Atlanta, in terms of talent, were so far ahead of them that they needed to roll the dice and try and find a higher ceiling team. I don't think that this combination of 4 players was ever going to consistently touch Chicago, Dallas, or Atlanta.
Really?
I feel pretty confident saying that. Yeah.
Really?
Truly. And New York's now above them, so that's an even tougher situation for them.
I think with you got more. Go ahead, keep going. I don't want to cut you off.
My situation is this: it's like I don't see them being better than those teams in S&D. Control, like think about the Dallas Atlanta players and how good they were with control in Black Ops 4. And I think without having, it's hard to look back to the Black Ops 4 days when they had Sam on the team and he was frying, when they pressed him on the team and he was frying. And I honestly believe that the secret glue they have is Crowder as a coach to kind of keep it all together.
Yep.
I just don't think they have those pieces. And I think the way that Temp plays, and he's got this pinch sort of loose play style, I don't think really fits with the inconsistency that Teach has. And they try to play too structured and they get their hand burned. And I would have liked to have seen them make some risks in the offseason. I think now they're in a position where they're going to have to do it anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I could see them taking I mean, at this point, they have to take a risk. They have to do something. I mean, you see things being made about Venom, and I think very highly of Venom. I think he's a great player, and I think he brings a lot more in the game than people think, other than just skill. So we'll see what they do. The thing, it gets tricky, right? Because you have a lot of big names on the team. You got Slasher, you got TJ, you got Don, you got fucking Kenny. These are some of the best players ever to play the game. But it's getting to a point now where they're just not putting things together. And if they're not putting things together, things are going to change. Like, Nate Shot wants to win. Like, 100 Thieves don't want to play around. They have a very big brand. They want to see a winning team. And, the players know that they're capable of winning, and they're not putting it together, then there's a problem, and they're going to want to change. I know that Austin is not happy. There's no fucking way Austin's sitting there happy that they're not performing well, right? Let's just be realistic. Let's be fucking realistic. He's not happy. He's pissed off. He's probably trying to win. Things aren't clicking in practice. They're going to change if things aren't going right. Maybe we'll see with the role change. Maybe it'll bring some signs of life out of them. Obviously they've won some series this year, right? Like, it's not like they're just shitting the sheets.
It's not. We talked about this yesterday. Like, I don't think it's the talent. Like, why are Dallas and Atlanta consistently so good this year and last year? I don't think it's necessarily about talent. I just think those teams are so far ahead in innovation, and it comes from a coaching perspective and from a player perspective. I don't think that these have like those type of players on their team right now. Yeah. Where they're like we saw what happened with Atlanta. Sometimes out here using like day 55 wall bangs on the map we're seeing for the first time. I want to see a Thieves team that's a little bit younger and fresher, is trying, is more experimental, is playing that aggressive style, and they can do it around Slasher and Kenny. I would have liked to have seen them do that and make that move in the offseason, but now they're going to be kind of go to the doing it likely after the stage.
Do you think that this role change can help them at all?
Or can they go into a sub?
Yeah, or do you think they're still
If they play with pace, but if they play slow like Minnesota, it's just not going to work.
But Kenny, dude, and that's one thing that I want to talk about. World War II Kenny on a sub was godlike. That guy was aggressive as fuck. And then he changed going into Black Ops 4. The SOG wasn't good. Kenny's one of those players where you want to put him on the best gun possible because he could just slay out and get some kills. Yeah. So they moved Kenny to the AR, or Kenny just didn't want to run the sub. They moved him to the AR role. He's doing his thing. You're back at the point now. Everybody's talking about the 74U, right? It's like the gun to make plays and stuff. It might be a good fit for Kenny to get on the 74U and maybe make some plays around the map and be really impactful and trying to help his team win some games. You have TJ making plays, so maybe that TJ and Kenny combination might work a little bit better than the TJ Donnie combination. And now you have Donnie on the AR who could just kind of just post up, work on his positioning, do stuff like that. Donnie's a smart player. He's going to be working the map, doing his thing, running the AR. And then you guys, it might work. The team change may work, but if they don't do well this weekend, they're going to change.
Yeah, but they're going to change. I also think, we can keep going down this rabbit hole. Like it's not just about respawn. I just think like outside of Moscow S&D, they weren't that good of a S&D team. They got come back on a bunch of times.
Ben, in general, they're just not. They don't look good. Like I agree. To sum it up, they just don't look good right now, and it's not like a secret to anyone. They know that. You know what I'm saying? Like they fucking know that. And I'm sure they should be being realistic with themselves, knowing that they're not playing good right now, especially compared to the expectation that people want to see from these guys. I'm curious to see what they do tomorrow. I'm curious. I'm excited to watch this one. I think we got a good match. I want to see them do well. But at the same time, if it's not working, 100 Thieves is going to make some changes, and they're going to want to bring somebody in new. And it's probably going to be Venom. With all this talk going around.
So they've got, listen, it's not as like last year where they were having they've got options now. They have a lot of talented players, don't have buyouts, and so I think they could make wholesale changes I don't think Slasher or Kenny will get dropped, but if they want to make 2 changes, they could.
You think they're going with TJ and Donnie, both of them?
If I were them, I wouldn't make 1 change. I think if you're going to do it, you got to make the 2 changes. And
you want to scrap half the team?
Yeah, that's what I would do.
I don't know, right? I'd take for Ben. He wants to scrap half the team.
Yeah, I think it's what has. If you make 1 change, and you're still it's still not working, then you've just wasted another month.
Yeah, you're kind of right. Yeah,
backwards.
Maybe. I think it depends on. Maybe Ben. One change can do a lot to a team. One guy.
Not this team. I would agree with that, but not this team. I think they need another mindset. They need to be on a different planet at this point.
We got a couple wins. We got a couple lens.
Yeah, we're getting takes, bro. I'm sure Thieves have their own thoughts on management. Mud Dog's really good GM, has won a lot of chips as a GM. They've got players that know how to win. They just need to get the right talent and start really like pushing the meta and start getting ahead and stop chasing kind of what their other competition is doing at the moment. So you want to move on and talk about Paris, Minnesota?
Yeah, one thing I will say about these real quick. I wonder how they are personality wise, like how if they're clashing right now. I wonder how things are in that camp. I would love to see how things are going, because when things aren't going well, especially with people like Slash on the team, like they're not gonna be he's not gonna be happy, right? So I'm curious to see what the vibes are like in that camp, because if the vibes are already chalked, then they're fucked. They're fucked. They're dumb tomorrow. They're done.
Yeah, if what I've heard is true and that they have been struggling in scrims, this is a must win for them. They win this, and you say, okay, we play New York on Sunday, we win that 2-0, like our fortunes change. If we lose this match, and we got to play a New York team that's going to be pissed that we lost to FaZe, like suddenly you're not in a really particularly good position. You cannot start 0-2 in this group.
Right. And then we move on to the next match. We got a big one with LA Thieves Toronto. I'm super excited for that one. Let's be honest, two great teams, man. Let's see what they could do. Let's see if they come out. We'll see, man. We'll talk about it live tomorrow on the flank after the matches. It's going to be a good one.
About Toronto, but I'm sure we'll have a lot of thoughts on Toronto after that.
Yeah, we'll see what Insight can do. Let's see what they can do. They bench Zinni. They bring in Insight. We'll see what they can do. We didn't talk much about them, but fuck it. On to the next match. We'll talk about it tomorrow. We got Paris Legion versus the Minnesota Rocker. Minnesota's another team, Ben. It's like they're not putting things together, but they can. They have what it takes. They have the tools. But what about this team, Ben? What happens if these guys come out and don't do well?
Minnesota's a tough position. I don't, man. Like I don't know. I don't know what you do. I think their win conditions a little bit better than Thieves, because we've seen that they're a very dominant search team. So when I look at Minnesota, and I'm like, okay, well, if you can win 30% more of your hard points and get towards 500 in that game mode,
right,
then you're actually going to be in a pretty good spot. Maybe not a top 3 team in the game, but you'll be competitive. They haven't been competitive so far. And Paris has not been an easy out for teams. It's a weird mosh of players that just kind of works. They grind. Fire 40's been getting better with every series, and like if he gets comfortable, they'll get really nasty. This is not an easty series for Minnesota. That being said, like I think if it does go to a game 5, I got to give it to Minnesota. So I'll say 3-2 Minnesota.
I'll go with Minnesota as well. But dude, Paris is just like, I don't know, man. There's something about Paris where I just like. At first, I see their name Paris, and I think shit because of last year. No offense. I thought Paris was shit last year. But now there's just something about this new team that it was just so weird to me when they first started off. But I just feel like they're a good, like, there's something about them. I think Yuli is fucking, I love Yuli. I love him. I'm going to be the one to say it. I fucking love it. I love that nobody talks about him. He doesn't get a lot of hype. Sometimes people have been gassing him up a little bit recently, but he's always been a great player. And I'm a big fan. Huge fan of Yuli. I'm a huge fan of Maddie, right? Maddie's always a brick. He's a fucking brick. He's a brick wall. He's hard to get by. He's a good player, very talented. He's always wanted to win. And then you just got Nikki D and Fire, who are just making plays around the map. They're confident. It seems like they don't give a fuck sometimes when they're playing. They're not scared to make plays and just kind of do their thing. Fire's coming into form a little bit. So they got a great team. I think this can go either way. But then on the other side, you got Attach. That's my guy, right? Attach is a fucking one of the best players in the game right now. I think he's godlike. I think Dylan's godlike. What up, Zinni? I think Dylan's godlike. You got Preston, who's one of the best players to ever do it, super talented. You got Major Maniac, who's like kind of like the level-headed one, taking routes, like doing the thing. And then you got Lamar, who's solid, right? Like they got a good team. We got 2 solid teams here, so this could go either way.
Their team comp hasn't been working a hard point. They've been just too slow. They can't really like.
It hasn't. You're right.
Matches. So I want to see them start to do better. And frankly, I love Preston, but was not playing nearly at the level that we expect from him in first stage. I think he'll knock it on from there.
Yeah, we'll see what happens tomorrow. I'll go with 3-2. I'll go with 3-2 Minnesota. But I don't know. This one's like one of those things.
Minnesota also have to win this game. If they lose to Paris, then they're another team where I'm.
That's what I'm saying. Are they in shit? Like, what happens now?
I don't know.
That's a lot of these teams, guys, especially Minnesota and LA Thieves, and knowing the players that are on the team, they want to win, and they got players who want to win. And if they don't make changes after getting shit on, well, then it's at a point now where it's like, do these guys even care about winning? Because you know what I'm saying? Like,
Well,
You
it's
want to
not
win.
even- It's about also the fact that with so many CDL points awarded each stage, you cannot play bad for 2 stages.
No, you
will
can't.
end up 60 or 70 points at a top 8, which you just
You're gonna
cannot
dig
have.
yourself too much of a hole, and it's just gonna suck.
Yeah, it's gonna rely on you having to get top 4 at one of these events, which is not easy. So
It was like last year when we were shit, and I said something. I said we got to do something about this shit. We are ass. Let's fucking bring in Mac. And then the whole team was just like, I could just tell the vibes were off last year, right? And shit was just off, and I was like, we needed a change, right? You know what I'm saying? I didn't know who was gonna be at the time. Trey was the odd one out. He knew he was the odd one out. He just wasn't meshing well with the team. And Trey's a fucking beast, bro. I played with Trey in Black Ops 4. I think the guy's an animal. I can't wait till Trey. Speaking of Trey, I can't wait till he comes back to fucking play. I'm excited to get him back. I don't know what the hell's going on with that. So hopefully he gets back over here because I'm sure London can add him in. But yeah, man, this is gonna be a good match tomorrow, Ben, and I'm excited to see this one. And I'm sure you'll see some of these teams changing if they don't do well, which they should. They should change. That there's a lot of talent coming up from challengers. I've been watching challengers a lot, Ben, and Madon is their talent down there.
I don't know who the best team is in challengers right now.
And I'm gonna be the one to say it. Sib isn't. I love Sib. I love him. I think he's a great player. I fucking hate him, but I love him. And I would have fucking I be roasting him all the time. But Sib's a fucking beast, bro. You got Tom, right? Tom's been playing well. Tom Gravity. John looks great. John looks pretty good. There's just like a lot of players and challengers that are dying to get a shot. And I don't know, man. If some of these guys don't get picked up, then we'll see, man. Maybe Coach Zoomaa comes into effect next year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and it's a 4-way tie at 3-1 through like halfway through the elite in NA. So like, have zero idea which of these teams are the best team. They can all beat each other. I thought it was Sib's team. Then they lost to Easter yesterday. So who knows, man? Like,
Sib's team looks great. You got Standy, you got Sib, Dave, Patty, and Jimbo. They're looking pretty good. They're looking pretty good, man. My little cousin, he's trying to take control of the team. Vinny's got him on their toes. So they look good, man. A lot of talent and challengers, and if some of these pro teams aren't putting things together, you got to make some changes. Period. Like, you're not just gonna shit the sheets all year. I'm sure a lot of these orgs want to win.
I would be shocked if some of these teams wait to make changes. I just think with a lot of players getting to the end of the second year of their deals, there's just no point in waiting on. Just make your change. Find you if you can find a diamond in the rough franchise player, great. If not, you find above replacement player and you kick it off from there and try and get towards top 6.
Yep, for sure. Now we'll just anything else you want to say, Ben, before we move into some questions? Are you good to go?
We'll just hop the questions.
All right, let's hop into some questions. Before I do answer some questions, I gotta give a big shout out to Simp with the 5 gifted subs. Appreciate you, Simp. Good job today, man. You looked great out there. We got Canyon with the Twitch Prime. Appreciate you, Canyon. Much love, showing support to the stream. We got D-Bruv with a few gifted subs. D-Bruv, you're always showing love, my guy. You're the man. You're the fucking man. How you doing? Then we got John coming in high with a Twitch Prime. Just appreciate you guys showing love during the stream with some subs. I really do appreciate you guys. You guys are real ones, man. You guys are fucking real ones. I appreciate you. I see Alec in the chat showing love before. Just appreciate you guys showing love, man. I hope you guys are enjoying the show. But let's hop into some questions. Anybody got some questions? Tell Hex if he could sell merch out here in Chicago. I don't know. What are you talking about? Sib to Florida? Maybe.
He's got a merch drop in like 2 days.
Yeah, he's got I'm wearing his shirt right now, actually. Check this out. Wait, am I allowed to show this? No, he showed these. He showed these. Formal wears them all the time.
Drop for him, so he'll take this press. Yeah.
He gave me a bunch of stuff yesterday. So shout out to Hector, man. I'm just wearing some of his stuff. I always love getting free clothes from people. You know what I'm saying? I'm always gonna wear it. So shout out to Hector, man. Ghosty with the get this up. Appreciate you. D-Broth with another gift. Appreciate you guys. Much love, guys. Appreciate you guys showing love to the stream. What up, Tyler Beezy? How you doing, you handsome bastard? What's going on, man? I saw a question. Yeah.
What do we think about the meta?
I like. I don't know. The QBZ too early, but the QBZ seems like another M4 to me. I just don't fucking get it. They banned one gun just to get another one.
Yeah, I'm watching Selim with a Krieg just shooting just a straight. So
yeah, well, it doesn't fucking matter. The same teams are gonna do the same shit no matter what the meta is. It never changes. It never does. Every year it's the same shit. We got Sid to Florida. I don't know, Joel. Maybe, but for some reason I just feel like certain teams just never want to take a risk on some players. I don't know. I think Sib is fucking incredible. I've been watching Sib.
Sib to Florida for who?
I don't know. I've been watching Sib play a little bit in challengers. You guys have been watching my streams. We've been doing some watch parties and stuff. Dante's a beast.
Who would you drop?
I don't know. That's a question. I'm not gonna say who they should drop. That's a question they gotta figure out. It all comes down to a little bit. You know, they know their team, the ins and outs of their team. Management knows the ins and outs of their team. They got a coach over there who watches their team every day. They can need to figure it the fuck out. If they're not playing good, they gotta make a change. And there's a lot of people there.
Just to put a cap on that, I know he's FaZe's sub, but like FaZe is not one of those orgs I think is going to hold him.
No, they won't hold him. They won't hold him.
Pro team came, they would figure out whatever the buyout is.
They just get some cash. They get a little bit of cash. You know what I'm saying? Get some cash in the bag.
Someone said, you reckon Scraps and Fire changing roles is good? I didn't even know they changed roles.
They changed roles?
Yeah, that's news to me. But whatever works for them. Like I just think I like their team. They're just a weird team, and these like leftover teams historically in COD just kind of work. Yeah. Because it becomes less about friendships and more just trying to like make sure you get the roles right, and it's just good. Yep. So excited to see Fire play better, obviously, but beloved Manny as well. Yep.
And then we got. Does Seattle need to make a move? We kind of already talked about it. I mean, they look better today. You know what I'm saying? So give them some time. We'll see how things go. I think a lot of these teams are just kind of winging, or not winging it, but just kind of seeing how the next couple weeks go. But I think it's getting to that point now. Because a couple weeks ago, I was like, guys, give people a chance to play. Let them try and get into their groove, try and do their thing. Now it's getting to the point where you don't want to dig yourself a hole, and players want to win. And if a team is shit in the sheets and they're not winning any matches and they don't make any changes, well, that's just weird to me, because they should. You know what I'm saying? If they care about winning, you have a bench for that reason. You got substitutes. That's how it happens at the professional level. In every sport, every esport, if there's people not performing or the team's not performing, you got to make changes. Sometimes teams might make the good changes. Sometimes might make bad changes. We'll see. But there needs to be changes, or else nothing's gonna fucking change, and teams are gonna they're gonna keep shitting the sheets. So I don't know, man. We'll see. Methods to LA Thieves. I don't know if Slasher would ever do that. I don't see Slasher. Slasher's not getting dropped.
I think they had a rough fit the first time they went around with that team. I also don't see how they would make that trade with Toronto, who I think are notoriously difficult trade partners.
What about Juanito? You know, Slasher loves John.
Okay, can we stop circling the wagon with teams that run their course? Like, I like John, but like they're gonna run into a lot of the same problems when these players have teamed with John before. Like, try someone new. I like John. Right. John needs more time to get like a game feel. I'm watching him play. He makes great plays. He also makes terrible plays. They have Draza on their roster. If they're gonna pick up Venom, great. Like, roll the dice in some younger players and find some more diamond in the rough. Florida has done a good job of that. They picked up Neptune and Awakening. Those weren't necessarily the two players that people were targeting for that team, but it's worked out for them. So I would like to see these roll the dice a little bit more. But that's just my thoughts.
Yep. What do you think will happen to Hydra? Hydra just needs some more time, man. We talked about it last week. It's only been a week, guys. Let the guys settle in. He was doing his thing with the NYSL Academy. Let him get his English going. Let him get his comms going. His momentum going. His confidence. Let him play a little bit. I don't really know what's going to happen. I think it ultimately comes down to what New York wants to do. But the New York team doesn't look that bad to me, man. They got top 3 at the first major. They came out against the best team in the game today, and they didn't look bad to me.
They could have won most of those maps. So I think New York is clearly a top 4 team, and they're going to continue to give everybody in the other top 4 problems. They're not an easy out. I really like where New York's at as a team, and they're just going to continue to get better.
Yep, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Should the CDL expand to 16 teams? Yeah, I think the more expansion we can get, the better. The more the league grows, the better it is. I think it'll always be cool to get some more teams in here, get some more players in here to show what they can do. I would love to see the league expand, because I just want to see as years go by, bigger and better things. That'd be pretty cool, man. Is Miami S&D still in the Roto? Is it? It is, right?
Yeah,
it's still in there. I don't know how many people will see playing it, because it's absolute shit. But it's still in there.
Gassing it. It's not that bad, but okay.
I think it's horrible, but I do think Garrison and Checkmate is worse though. So yeah.
Well, we don't have Garrison anymore, so you're going after.
Yeah. Well, thank God that's gone. Maron. It was fucking horrible.
I would have thought the Checkmate would have went first, but politics, I guess.
I still feel, for some reason, I still feel like people are gonna play Checkmate over Miami. I don't know why. Why do you hate Miami S&D so much? Because the map is fucking huge.
But I enjoy watching Miami S&D over. I think Checkmate S&D is incredibly boring to watch. So was Garrison, to be honest. But you could have lost either two map. But Miami, like, I don't know. We need some more S&D maps, maybe.
I want to see some snipers back. I don't care if they're OP. Just bring them back.
Miami S&D would be way
I want to see people getting fucking twisted with that shit. I want to see people
it's good for crowds. It's not so good to play against when Simp and Dashy are just sniping middle and beach consistently.
Well, if they're as easy as everybody says they are, then everybody could do it. So I would love to see snipers come back in. What else do we got in here? We got the chat's moving quick. You guys are moving quick
Raptors,
today.
I agree. By the way, I've heard Apocalypse S&D is good, and I would not be surprised if they try and get that in the map pool later in the year.
Thoughts on no LAN events? Did we not have no LAN events this year? Did they say that? You said thoughts on no LAN events.
So I saw some hiss about this, and then it seemed like that quote got taken out of context because the actual article from Sports Business Journal came out. I mean, listen, like, you know, the U.S. is actually way ahead in vaccine distribution.
Right.
If we can get ahead, we'll see what happens. I would assume that the league wants to go to LANs as soon as they can. So
yeah, people have been getting the vaccine. I know people back home in Jersey been getting it. I think some of my family members got it.
11 days, and the 29th you can start getting it when you're 16 plus.
I think Mama might have got hers already. I don't know. She wants me to get it, but I'm scared. No, I'm just kidding.
Got it. So
thoughts on the CDL video on optic phase comms? Could be good for content if it wasn't ominous. You think it was a good one?
So here are my thoughts on the video.
Here we go.
Here are my thoughts.
Hot take.
I like content pieces like that.
Right.
I just think the beef that Atlanta and Chicago have is legit, and I think if you had gone to the teams and said, hey, you know, here's the cut, like, let us know what to remove, and they say, great, like, we don't want the parts where our coach are talking about strats or said this about a team, and then they go from there and they cut it down, then it's good. I think that kind of content's awesome. I think people love that behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
Just got to give the teams the ability to just kind of say, hey, we need this out for competitive integrity issues. And by the way, this is a thing that the CSGO players were dealing with Blast back in December. So I think the league will sort it out. It sounds like there was progress made there. So
everybody's saying there's no beef. I mean, there is no beef, Ben. I mean, you used the wrong word. There's no beef, but there's definitely a rivalry. You know what I'm saying? Like they're two of the top teams, so they're gonna show the comms between two of the top teams.
I didn't phrase it correctly. You're right. I mean, they respect each other, but you're gonna say stuff when you're warming up to try and get your teammates hyped. And I just think, like, you know,
you want my opinion on it?
Context is difficult. Yeah, go ahead.
You want my opinion on it?
Yeah.
They should not be uploading comms when the players think they're in a private conversation. They shouldn't be doing that. I just don't think that's right.
Out there.
It's a little bit different if they go and talk to the teams beforehand and say, hey, is it okay if we do this? We can show you guys a look before we post it. What's okay, what's not okay, certain things. They straight out just put out private information, private comms. I used to say, when I was in private comms, I used to be like, these kids are fucking trash. They could all suck my cock. I used to say stuff like that. What if that stuff was on there? They put RCs saying we all got big cocks and shit like that. Listen, man, people talk differently in private. You know what I'm saying? They talk differently. People say different things. You're with your boys. You're with your friends. People say different stuff. People don't always want to say that stuff publicly, but they act differently when they're more comfortable with their teams. So I think it's wrong to release private conversations that the players don't think will ever be seen to the public, and then one day they wake the fuck up and it is I was talking to Seth, and he's like, dude, I was just trying to eat my quesadilla from Chipotle. I wanted to try it out. Scump was like, I go on to Twitter and I was like, shit, I didn't even want to eat my quesadilla no more. He was pissed off. I don't think he liked that. But at the end of the day, I mean, the league can do whatever the hell they want, right? I mean,
look, I think the situation will sort itself. I think it was just a mistake, and they'll future videos won't be as so open and you know, like there's a point in there where Crowder's talking about exactly what Optic's gonna do on that map. It's like, if your FaZe, you really want that out there, where you know they're doing that prep work, and same for Optic, they're talking about stuff that FaZe is doing. So yeah, it's interesting to get that light, but just let the teams kind of trim stuff out so it's, you know, you keep competitive integrity intact. Teams say stuff in those situations that are private. They're private comms, and they shouldn't be public. So
Alec goes, I'm never saying any of that, and then he goes, I mean, again, like never again, because everybody's like, I'm just curious, bro. I used to go rogue in between maps.
I know you used to go rogue.
Really,
you guys used to curse
like
at each other.
Probably one of the worst. Like if they've released my private comms, it'll probably be one of the worst in the league. Like from
well, Tommy, there's that story about what Chris once said to Dylan that will never become public.
Oh, I hope it doesn't.
Yeah, you know the exact story I'm talking about. Season 1 playoffs, the event that you guys won.
Yeah.
He said something that should never be said publicly. But you're in a competitive environment. People are heated, and things have to be said, and oftentimes that stuff shouldn't be public.
I mean, let's say it this way, because you just made that sound really bad. Chris didn't say anything that was like he's getting canceled, like anything like crazy.
It wasn't that bad.
It was just vulgar. It's stuff that people might not want to say. Even just the word cock. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to portray that, you know, on a professional stage. But I guess the colleague doesn't give a fuck. So fuck it. I wish the colleague didn't mind. I would have been on main stage and listenings and shit going crazy, or in an interviews going crazy if they don't care about that stuff. What word? Cock. Like penis, dick.
That was not the word that was said, and we won't.
Oh, was it said?
No, the word. You know what the word that was said. We can't repeat on stream. Guys, it's not that bad.
No.
Like,
I'm talking about what they posted. Bad. I'm talking about what they recently just posted.
Oh yeah.
That word wasn't used in there.
Is that not what Alec? Is that not what Alec had said in that situation? I don't know. It's beeped out, so we don't know. But that's what they put in text, and I was like, oh, well,
guys,
you know,
I'm pulling this up. I'm pulling this shit up.
Yeah, you can't. The video's gone, bro.
What do you mean? They deleted it?
Yeah, the video's gone.
Nah, there's like Reddit posts and shit like that with the word blocked out. You guys know what I'm talking about? Where they show the quotes.
Yeah, but we can move on from it. I think we've said what we need to say on it.
Okay, we can move on. But
we'll take one more question, guys.
But I don't know, guys. It's just I just think it was a little weird. They deleted it. Okay, I wonder why they deleted it. Actually, I do know why.
We'll take one more question. I'm waiting to see who is the first question that gets in.
ATL Frassini, though, yeah, he's in Atlanta now. He's doing his thing. Maybe that was a big change. Maybe he's in a better environment. We don't know. Hector said he made a call. Did he? Did Hector make a call? Hector's that guy. Hector's that guy. He makes a phone call and in 10 seconds, it's done. It's fucking done. Hex can do whatever he wants. He said, listen, you take this down. I don't want this shit. Take it down.
Well, I think on that, Tommy, we can probably end it. It was a good show. I think we actually covered a lot for 2 games. I'm excited. I think tomorrow's matches are like super pivotal for some of these teams, like sticking together. So I think we'll have a lot to talk about. I actually think those 2 series can go kind of deep. And then looking towards the weekend, we have a lot of really good matches. Something that Dallas-Seattle match might be pretty interesting. And then the Sunday matches are super, super key. So excited to watch them caught over the next couple days.
Well, before you get off, I do want to show this clip on stream. I want to see your thoughts on this. I want to get your initial thoughts. Let me pull it up.
I don't like when we're just showing clips on stream.
Oh, it's okay.
Tell me what it is.
It's okay. Just I want to get your.
Everybody asking me a Tottenham. I don't want to talk about it, bro.
I want to just get your thoughts.
We're gonna talk about.
I just want to take a look. I want to get your initial thoughts. Okay. I was watching this. I thought it was pretty funny. Just let me hear your thoughts. Let's be quiet for a second.
One time when I was in Cali, this is a true story. I was we just finished like a day where we played or something, and like my camera was like set up to where like the competitive integrity camera, whatever, you know what I'm talking about. So like it was like next to my setup, so I didn't really notice it. So later that night, I'm beating my shit, and I'm like, I don't realize it. No, just listen. So I don't realize.
Yeah, my first initial thought goes to Hector. I'm like, what does Hector think? And he immediately just puts his he immediately puts his hand on his head, like just face palms. Like that's actually comedy.
Dave is like drinking water mid sentence there, and like spits out his water. Like, dude, it's so funny.
No, just listen. So I don't realize it until like I'm getting towards the final chapter of my session, right? And then I look at the camera, and then
it was blue.
No, it was still white. And then I was thinking to myself, like, could he be watching? And then I just finished, and then and then I just looked at the camera.
Look at Hector, bro. Yo, and Davis and says loud just gets me, bro, every time.
And then I look at the camera, and I was just like,
wait, what? Wait, what the fuck?
We're definitely not getting ad revenue on this video now.
Ben, I never get ad revenue on any videos I do with the flank ever. Guys, I don't make money off the flank on YouTube. I don't. I'm too vulgar for this, so I just let it fly anyway. But this is actually fucking comedy. This pretty much explains it all. But this was comedy. What are your thoughts, Ben? You think somebody was watching?
No.
You don't think somebody was on the other end? His camera was white.
Doesn't it have to be blue if it's active?
No, I think white means they're active.
I don't think so. I think it's the other way around, brother.
Are you sure?
I don't know. You tell me. I've never had the player cams.
When was that upload? I don't know. It's on Reddit 3 hours ago. It's public thing. It's public. It's public stuff. It's on Reddit. I didn't pull up any private videos, but we had a good show today, Ben, didn't we?
Yeah, great show. Excited to keep
Phenomenal.
talking. We're gonna have a show on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So
phenomenal show. We have some great matches tomorrow. Real quick, guys, I had a phone call today. Apparently, nobody's using my code in the game, the content creator code. Use code Zoomaa in all caps and content creator. If you guys can, go buy a skin or some shit. Use my code before they take me off the thing. It's code Zoomaa, all caps, ZOOMAA. If you guys use my code, tweet at me, give me some love so I can send it over to them, baby. Look, your machine's broken. People are using my shit. I don't know what's going on. But shout out to you guys showing love in the chat. I really do appreciate you guys. I fucking love every single one of you. We got some good matches to watch tomorrow. A lot of controversy going down, a lot of drama. I'm excited to watch these few matches. We're gonna be live again tomorrow. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. You guys know I love you all. Ben, anything you want to say? Goodbye to everybody.
Thanks for having me on as always, Tommy. We'll talk more tomorrow.
Sounds good, Ben. Thank you guys for watching, man, and I hope you all have the good rest of your day. Have a good day.
Peace.